back in 2015, when you go to a film market, you can just give them a short treatment of the story, and then they will decide, okay, I will invest you and I will give you the money. But gradually through this 8 years, you will see, they want more, they want the completed script, or they want to see if this director is promising, so they want to see the previous work of the director. But now they wanted to see, okay, I will give you some money to, show me how this film is going to look like. So that's why I think the Golden Rooster, they changed it because they realized as well. So they want to give the young filmmakers more chance and more opportunity to show themselves, to show that they are promising. I don't know if you know, but a lot of actually American films, the blockbusters, their visual effects are actually made in China. The Chinese visual effect company, they have covered a lot of Hollywood movies. In general, the big box office area is the third and fourth, because people there, they have the habit to go to the movie theater even more than Beijing or Shanghai, because everyone's really busy in Beijing and Shanghai. If they decide to go to a film, they need to calculate their time and need to plan it very well. Traveling is also the cost. But some smaller towns and cities, it's normal for people to, I don't know what to do, I just go to the movie theater. Their life path is also slower, so it's workable for them.
Welcome to Inside the China Room, your premier destination for insights into Chinese current events. I'm your host Jiang. I'm now in Xiamen, a vibrant coastal city located in East China's Fujian province with fantastic scenic views. Also the hosting city of this year's China Golden Rooster and Hunger Flowers film festivals. This Saturday, the Chinese equivalent of the American Academy Awards, the esteemed Golden Rooster Award, will be announced right here. Today we are joined by Annie Song, a young Chinese filmmaker who will share her views on China's film festivals and the development of the Chinese film industry with us. Annie Song is the art director at Lingxiao Wenhua, Jungle Vision, a Beijing-based startup dedicated to curating independent film festivals in China. Annie received her bachelor's degree in film studies from the University of California, Berkeley, and has been in the film industry for over 8 years. She recently won the Most Promising Filmmaker Award at the Busan International Film Festival. Hi Annie, welcome to Inside the China Room.
Hi, Jiang. Hello everyone.
Annie, I'm very happy to have you on my show. I know you have been involved in numerous film venture projects, attended various festivals in China, and worked on some low-budget independent films. Could you tell us more about yourself, including why you chose to return to China to pursue a career in film sector after graduating in the U.S.? I imagine it hasn't been an easy path, has it?
I'm a filmmaker, producer, and also film festival curator based in Beijing. I come back to China in 2015 after I graduated from Berkeley, and I also traveled to South Korea for half a year. I majored in film studies, actually an accident. I never thought I would be working film industry because my dad works in car business. My mom just stay at home. So it's really hard for a Chinese family to support a kid to study film. I thought I would do something in business or in engineering. But when I first went to the United States, I found the first class I attended is a film study class. It blew my mind. It's not something I usually thought about film, because in our generation, film is you go out a date and then you will go to the movie theater. It's nothing about you don't see it as a culture or something very important. But through that class, I learned a lot about American culture and also Italian culture. So the entire immigration thing was through that class I learned. So I got really interested into film. I chose my major as a film study when the time comes to clear the major. Still, after I graduated, I never thought I would be in film business because none of my family knows anything about film. But I had a friend who was studying Beijing Film Academy as a cinematographer, and I visited him during the summer. I went back, and I feel okay, I still think I need to do film because it's something I'm really passionate about. So I went into the film business, but not in a mainstream way, but in an independent way. Because I don't know if you know about Berkeley. It's pretty hippies and a lot of movement there. So we tend to do things in an independent way instead of going to the mainstream because I don't feel that fits me as well. But yeah, as you said, it's hard to come back to China to do a film, but it's also hard to do film business in Hollywood because, as a Chinese, you're international students and you have no connection. It's hard. So that's why I decided to come back instead of staying there. So through these years, I have been producing a lot of films with directors who has the same background with me because a lot of students, they go abroad and they study films and then come back, they want to make the movie. That's how I fit into the film business.
How do you think your learning experience in the U.S.? I don't know if you have ever interned in the film sector in U.S., but how do you describe the contribution or the help? What you learned from the experience in U.S. help what you are doing right now in China?
Because film study is very different from film production. Film study is more like a cultural study, interdisciplinary study. So I actually didn't have a lot of hands-on production experience while I was in the United States. I need to do a class. But besides of class, a lot of us classmates gather together, make a lot of student films together. I think what the United States has helped me in film business is that we do everything by ourselves. It's not like commercial. You have like thousands or hundreds of people on set. But because of my experience there, when we do independent films, there's a lot we do by ourselves. Maybe like one person will sitting for like several roles and we do a lot of jobs at the same time, but it's workable and it's fun.
So you just mentioned that you actually cooperated with people that with like minds or with similar background as yours. So how would you describe the characteristics of the young filmmakers in China nowadays?
It's actually very interesting. I think when I come back in 2015, the film industry was going up. It's very good at that time. A lot of our films and independent films were showing in the movie theaters and they got great box office there. But after that, everything was done due to a lot of reasons. So the young generations actually have a lot of passion and they learn the best knowledge about films in different countries, not only in US, but also in Europe. They have very good aesthetics, but they don't have a lot of chance. The thing is, what they do, what they see as a film is very different from mainstream Chinese blockbusters and also commercials. And also the students who usually went abroad to study, their family background and their economic backgrounds is very different from the actual audience in China. So there's a gap in between that what they do, what they like, doesn't feed into the market. That's the problem right now. But other than that, they're really good and they're really passionate about what they're doing. And then they're trying to do a lot of innovations and the creativities in their work.
Just when we were on the way to this venue where we were recording this, we were talking about because I'm not that familiar with the venture projects or the fundraising process of the independent films or big films in China. And I know that you have attended film festivals multiple times in China. It's not your first time to attend this Golden Rooster Festival, right? It's not your first time.
No.
Yeah. So what do you think that such type of festivals can help young filmmakers like you? And what's your main goal of attending this year's film festival in Xiamen?
Actually, the Golden Rooster Film Festival has changed a lot as well. Before, everyone thought it's a really official festival that it doesn't relate it to the young filmmakers. But since I first time attend the Golden Rooster, I think it's in 2022. Yes.
Okay.
It's already, they supported a lot of the young filmmakers in different ways. The first time I attend is because of the film market. So as I described to you that they have this part of the film festival, it's only for the investors and also the filmmakers. Then the filmmakers will get on the stage to pitch their project. And then the other investors and the people from the production companies, they will sit as an audience to listen to their pitch. And they will make the reservation for them to have one-on-one meeting to discuss further about the contents and also the business things. And now, this time I attend this, it's also in the same part of the film festival, but it's a very different and new thing that they started last year. It's that they will select the projects which they have been included in the markets for previous years, and they will choose 5 of the films to give them a grant and to make a trailer or teaser about this film. So this year, I'm coming here with a teaser along with 4 other films. And this is
so
really...
the film you bring here is already, it's already finished, right?
Yeah, but it's not the film is finished. It's only the teasers.
The teasers.
So basically, they will give you a bunch of money for you to make like a 16-minute film, so you can show the investors again. Because nowadays, the economy is really not good. So when the production companies and the investors need to make choice, they will more cautious about which projects they choose. So they want to see more about it. Like back in 2015, when you go to a film market, you can just give them a short treatment of the story, and then they will decide, okay, I will invest you and I will give you the money. But gradually through this 8 years, you will see, they want more. They want the completed script, or they want to see if this director is promising. So they want to see the previous work of the director. But now they wanted to see, okay, I will give you some money to, show me how this film is going to look like. I want to see more.
They're more cautious.
Yeah.
Giving you the money.
I think the Golden Rooster, they changed it because they realized as well. So they want to give the young filmmakers more chance and more opportunity to show themselves, to show that they are promised.
So who is behind this Golden Rooster Festival? Is the Chinese government, or is the Film Association? I'm just wondering who coordinates, who organizes all this stuff?
I think mainly it's the Chinese Film Bureau and also government from Xiamen. Yeah, they are the two main. And also they have a big investor, I think it's the Guomao Kongbu. Yeah, they are the big sponsor of this film festival. The film we made is sponsored by Guomao.
So you can feel that the government, or as you just mentioned, I believe the Film Bureau is part of the government. They have a strong intention to support young filmmakers, and they know their difficulty. Is my understanding right? They
I think,
create more opportunities for you guys.
Yeah, I think this related to one of the topic you wanted to talk about, that the box office actually not growing, right?
Yeah, this summer I think the box office declined 44% comparing to.
Yeah, so they want more films to boost the box office. So they're giving a lot of opportunities for the young filmmakers.
So do they have a stronger desire, or their efforts even stronger than before?
I think so. I think not only the government, but also the production company as well. Because before, they think they have sort of formula they can use to produce films. Just like Hollywood, they have this Bible book, and then you just follow the procedure, you write the story, and it's not going to make mistake, and it will earn money. But now they realize this doesn't really work, so they need something new. They're trying to find a lot of new things. And we see this kind of new films through these years, The Journey to the West. I don't know if you 宇宙探索编辑部. It's a very good example.
It's from this festival, or it's from such kind of new ways?
The new ways is not from this festival. Well, it's exactly the executive producer is Guo Fan, so he's very mainstream, but he produced a film that is totally different from his style. It made a great impact in not only the industry, but also in the audience. They love it. So I think they see this kind of things is happening. So not only the government, but also the production company and all the filmmakers, they want to see something new to show the audience.
Just want to make sure our listeners understand. I haven't watched the movie you just mentioned. The English name is called The West. The
Journey to the West.
But I know it's about some editors. It's right.
Yeah.
I read about the content of that, but I haven't watched that. But it sounds like it's not that like a mainstream style.
It's not at all. It's not at all. It's basically an editor of astronomy magazine. He believes he can reach out to the aliens, and he believes there's aliens. So the journey is for them to find the alien.
Do you define it as a science fiction film? It's not. It's a creative.
No, it's not. Well, you can categorize it in a sci-fi film, but it's pretty realistic.
Yeah.
So it's low budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sells well.
Yeah.
Right, in China. Yeah. And you just mentioned about the traditional sectors or traditional way of doing it is face some challenges. Because I also talked to some other, film fans or film sectors insiders. They also mentioned about some similar things is also happening in the U.S. That the traditional, maybe the Hollywood type of stuff, some people are also tired of that. But on the other hand, there are some independent or small films. Their imagination is not being like restricted by that type of like the traditional or Hollywood style, but they can generate more things, which can actually sometimes they receive good response from the market. So I feel like there is some similar trends. Actually, I was about to ask you that is the way that people doing like using the film festivals to help young filmmakers to get money through finance. Is that like the logic or the way to operate this is almost the same as you observed in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's actually worldwide, I think. Just as you said that the American blockbuster is not working, not only in China, but also not in U.S. But also, I also work as a jury for Beijing International Film Festival and the Hainan Island International Film Festival. So I watch a lot of films from other countries as well. You can see that a lot of things are very similar. Not only commercial films were similar in a way, but also the art films are similar in a way. So when something is very distinctive and creative, it just stands out there. So in different film festivals, like I have been to a lot of other international film festivals as well. They have the similar thing. Actually, this kind of market thing, like pitching thing, is starting from the other international film festival. Hong Kong, as our country, they have done it for a long time. Like a Hong Kong Financial Forum, they have a huge market there, and they have been starting that for a long time. And also Busan, and also Berlin, they also have. And Canada, a lot of film festival, they have this part. So
you're saying the Chinese mainland is actually learning from this?
Yes, because when I came back 2015, there's not much that kind of market. But now it's like everywhere. All the film festivals, they want a part of film market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the opportunity has raised a lot. And as we mentioned in the United States, I think the good example is like A24. I don't know if we have ever heard the production company called A24.
No, not really.
They are exactly what you mentioned, that they are doing a lot of films, even sometimes strange. It's not mainstream at all, but they receive a lot of compliments about the film, and also their film are really low budget, like comparatively to other films, so they make money.
Sounds like they are more agile. They're like they can try something, and even they fail, it's okay.
Yeah,
and they can test it very quickly compared to the big film producers in companies.
Exactly. So the film they do nowadays, they start as a startup as well, doing small films. But now they have built into a great brand. They are making a lot of good films that very different style. Like the young generations, they loved it.
I see. So let's talk about we just mentioned about the Chinese film sectors. I mean, we definitely see that the Chinese film sector faced some challenges in recent years. What has been the biggest highlight in the development of the Chinese film industry in recent years, in your opinion? Is it about like the technology used in the films? Like we see many more like science fiction films like supported by some new technologies. Made me feel that we are kind of close to the Hollywood movies. What was your observation of these film sectors, of the Chinese film sectors generally? What came to your mind first when we talk about the highlights in recent years?
I know it's a really hard question, but like for what you said, I think the technology is not a problem right now. I think technology-wise, we're the same as the West.
Oh, you say we're at the same level?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you know, but a lot of actually American films, the blockbusters, their visual effects are actually made in China.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because the Chinese companies were cheaper.
Okay.
So they will, for like visual effects, they will divide it into like different sections, and then they will have different companies to do it. Actually, the Chinese visual effect company, they have covered a lot of Hollywood movies. So in terms of the technology, I think we're the same. And we can also see that through like 流浪地球.
Right? The Wandering Earth.
Yeah. You can see from that film, it's look like a very like expensive. Well, it's actually very expensive. So technology-wise, I think there's no difference. But why sometimes we see some Chinese films, when we see the visual effects, we feel it's kind of jerky or something like that. I think one is because of the cost, and the other is because of the art directors. So they will have the art directors of the visual effect, and they will control the aesthetics and the quality of it. So that person is more important. It's not the people who are doing the work. They can all do the work.
So it's about the allocation of resources.
Yeah. I think it's money, but also the aesthetics of the people who are actually in charge of the visuals.
Okay. You just mentioned about the wandering earth. I think in recent years, we kind of see multiple films of the similar topics appearing in succession. Like I just mentioned about like science fiction films. We see many science fiction films in Chinese movie theaters. And also, I also see like the new mainstream films, 新主流电影, right? It's sometimes about like some important battles in history, like for the founding of the PRC, something like that. Yeah. So what do you think the next popular theme in Chinese film market will be? And how do you think? I think it's a normal thing, right? I mean, in the U.S., sometimes in 1 year, 2 year, you will see some similar topics being made again and again. Maybe it's a kind of a response to the market, right?
I don't know. This question is really hard as well, but I can tell is that I think before you mentioned the food delivery film.
Yeah. I won't talk about it later.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, before that film comes out, I think all the production companies thought the good mainstream theme about films is talking about social issues. So I have been talking with a lot of production companies when they're trying to select different scripts. They also want some social topic. They really want to find some moving, touching, twisted social issues. And then turns it into a film. And then they think that could relate it to the audience a lot. That's why that film comes out.
So just to make the listener understand, we just mentioned about 逆行人生.
Yeah.
I think the English name of the film it's about food delivery workers, right? Because nowadays there are many more food delivery workers in China, and it was directed by Xu Zhen, right?
Yes.
Well, a very famous director about like normal people's life with difficulties, like many people
like working class,
right? We actually call that new working groups. The movie is kind of controversial among some netizens because people have different opinions about that. So do you think that is a success? How do you see that?
I don't think anyone thinks that film is a success in the film industry.
But it's touched the things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
The investors want to see, right?
Because they thought that's something that could relate it to the audience, especially, the distribution companies like Maoyan or Taopiao. They're having huge data, right? They're collecting data from all over the world. I pretty much believe that they have to do the research before, and they think this is going to be a big hit because so many people are working in this hardship life. And they think they will relate it to themselves. But the thing is, it turned out that the audience doesn't buy it. They think, like, usually you never do a food delivery. And even the actors in that film, it's like they make a lot of money, right? So the audience is not only talking about the film, they're actually talking about something about the film, like making the film. So they think you don't understand us because you have never experienced us, and why you're making a movie about us to pay for it. So that's how you cannot predict how the audience is gonna think and react to it.
Well, my opinion is that is one of the highlights of the film sector in recent years, especially in this year, as the 逆行人生 as the example that we called it, the opinions from the public about the film is more and more important. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Maybe that is going to influence the process of making next films for these investors.
Yeah.
Because they have to consider, like you just mentioned, it's complicated, it's hard to predict.
Yeah.
But sometimes it might generate some negative impact on the movie.
Yeah. Before, I think Maoyan was trying to produce a lot of films because they were confident they have this data, so they want to know what the audience like, because there are many examples before, right? But in my opinion, like, film is something really hard to predict as in terms of the market, because film is something that everyone watch, and they will have different reaction to it based on everyone's background and maybe the mood and even the venue. So a lot of things is going to affect how the people react to the film. That's something you cannot predict. And nowadays, I think some of the production companies, they start to realize that. So recently I heard some chief officers from different film production companies, they're giving a speech saying that they don't trust that anymore. They're trying to break through it. They think the old way of predicting things doesn't work in terms of how the market reflects to it. So they're trying to think that the content content itself is more important than the formula and then the data. So they're trying to focus more on the content itself instead of the other thing.
I think on the other hand, another interesting trend is that it seems that in recent years, we are seeing some classic movies being re-released in Chinese film theaters, like especially some Western films like Harry Potter or The Leon the Professional, 这个杀手不太冷. What do you think accounts for their enduring appeal and popularity among Chinese audiences? Do you think this trend is good or bad for the Chinese film industry? How do you comment that?
I think this is not the only thing in China, but it's worldwide. It's kind of like the film industry has been going through a dark time. It's growing very slow, not only the content, but the box office, and people don't watch film that much. But when you bring the old films back, a lot of people go to watch. I think on the one hand, for the people who import these films, the cost is not that much. So when they go into the theater, it's a win business. It's never done.
It's economic for the cinema as well.
Yeah, everyone's going to earn money because it's old film, so you don't need to buy it in a very expensive cost. And then everyone come here, they don't want to watch something that they don't know. They don't know if it's good or bad. The audience, when they're trying to buy the ticket, I know Harry Potter is a good film, so they will just go buy it. It's not going to make any mistake.
More predictable.
Yeah. And Leon, of course, is a classic. I even went to watch Leon.
Oh,
I think there's a lot of time that people don't get a chance to watch it in the movie theater as well, right? So it's not only here, but I believe in other international film festivals outside of China, they're bringing back a lot of old films as well. They do like distortions, and also they do it in 4K. So they try a lot of different ways to bring back the old films. Audience love it. So I think it's not a Chinese thing. It's global. Everyone enjoying the old films because on the one hand, they know it's good and it has been selected through times. On the other hand, they're not going to make mistake, and they have their own memories like related to the film. Probably when they were very young, they watched it and then, they loved it and they want to go back again. But for them to choose a new film, it's kind of risky.
Because it's likely that you might waste your time, like for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like for the same price. Why not you choose something you already know is good, right?
I think that makes sense. And you mentioned about global. I think actually in recent years, there are many Chinese, the culture-based products or culture-type products going global. This year we saw like the Black Miss Wukong, like AAA type of game that really, not just received lots of good attention from China, but also like enjoy some popularity in some other countries. Speaking of like Chinese films going global, I remember that 20 years ago, we have like the film like The Hero, like directed by Zhang Yimou, very famous Chinese film director, which actually got some success in North America in box office. But it seems that we haven't seen many similar achievements after that, or maybe I'm wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Why do you think that is the case?
Yeah, I think you're correct. I think the most famous Chinese film are like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and also Hero, which make a big hit in the Western market. And after that, we barely find anything. I don't really know a lot about the commercial film, but in terms of the art house film, I can talk more. Because actually Chinese film in general is a very minor thing in Western. Not a lot of people are interested about Chinese film, but the two films we just mentioned is very Chinese, like Chinese. Not only like the content is very Chinese, and the thing is like how the Western imagined about the Oriental world, right? So I think that's why they're very interested in it. But also like Lian, like because he worked in the U.S., so he has more resources in the United States, and that's why his Chinese film is more famous there. But Zhang Yimou is like big man, right? So everyone will watch his film. Like he even made another Shadow. It's kind of the same, right? But it's not like
the scene is beautiful.
It's like the Chinese
style.
Chinese traditional painting. Aesthetically, it's very good, but still we don't hear a lot of like.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just people.
There are also kung fu, elements in that. As well.
I don't know. I feel like maybe the audience were tired of it. Because the previous film has already fulfilled their imagination for it, so they want something new about it. And also, I think Hero that film. It's not as hard to understand as Shadow, because Hero is more like very beautiful, right? Beautiful and not much talking.
And they can relate that story to some story of their own culture.
Yeah.
It's not a very complicated story.
Yeah. But I think Shadow and also the other film he made, the 满江红, those films are hard. You need to have Chinese cultural background to understand the story. So I think that could be part of the reason. What I'm trying to say is I feel like it's really hard for a Chinese film to go into the mainstream of the Western market. Even though we have a lot of films, directors like Jia Zhangke or Guan Hu, and they all went to Cannes Film Festival, bringing their own pieces, but it's not mainstream. A lot of films also sell to, because I know a little bit about the international sales of Chinese films. It's really hard. Like they will sell to specific theaters only. It's not like a massive...
Maybe specific theater for Asian people or Chinese people?
Like for North America, like they have I think an AMC. They're now owned by Chinese companies, so they will show a lot of Chinese films for Chinese people in Canada and the United States. And in France or in Europe, it's a little bit different. Some of the Chinese blockbusters, they will get like one venue for like several show times. But for the art house films, they will only sell to specific theaters that they are doing art house films. So it's very small portion. It's not like a massive in theater.
You have studied in Seoul, right?
Yeah.
In South Korea. And we know actually, I think South Korea also have a strong film sector. And we also know that maybe India, they also have their style, their movies. How do you compare Korean movie and Indian movies, their popularity with Chinese films' popularity in other places of the world? Are these similar, as just mentioned? Is the Indian film or the South Korean film, they are also the minor, they are in like the certain theaters, or they're different? What was the situation?
I think it's similar, even though like everybody know like K-pop, like Korean, because I'll actually study the class about K-pop. Korean pop culture in the United States. Even though their culture industry is very strong compared to ours, they have a like huge impact globally. Because when I studied in the United States, everyone watched Korean dramas. Not only Chinese, not only Asians, but also people from Middle Eastern, from Iran. I don't even know how they watched it. They're not supposed to watch it, but everyone knows. But their films still, it's compared to their drama, it's still a small thing. But Koreans, they learn the entire film productions in American style. They're very much influenced by the American culture compared to us. So their film, compared to us, it's more relatable for the Western audience. But still, for them to distribute their film globally, it's still hard. For Indians, it's even harder. Because India, they have different languages in different parts, and they have different religions. So they sometimes have two versions of the film, dubbed by different, some part maybe in English and then some other in Hindu. I think Bollywood is not that popular now. When we were young, I think like Bollywood film is like dancing, singing and stuff. But now it's not like that. And the India itself, it's already a big market, like China. They have so many population.
So you mentioned about, like, I think we talked a little bit about like the challenges in Chinese film sector in recent years. So how do you summarize the main challenges that the Chinese film sectors experience in recent years?
As I mentioned before, that the old thing doesn't work. The commercial way, not only like they tried like social issues as a topic of the film, they did work like 我不是药神.
I think that the 我不是药神, right, is something very down to earth stuff. Like I think one of the best Chinese movies in the year.
Like, I think why the others follow the path of the social topic is because of the success of 我不是药神.
So the investor trust him, maybe.
The investor trust, because the director Wen Wuye, he has directed 2 films in terms of the social topic, and they all hit well.
Oh, the 逆行人生 is not directed by Xu Zhe.
No. Xu Zhe act in 我不是药神.
Xu Zhe is not directed.
Yes. But now, like, Xu Zhe's film doesn't work. I don't know if Wen Wuye's next film is gonna work, but it's supposed to. There's so many investment in there. And they also tried the 开心麻花. They made a lot of comedy films every year, but now still not everyone work. Only Shen Teng work. He's the key of the box office. So that's why I feel like they are trying to find more interesting topics topic that the audience can relate. Like the 年会不能停. That film is also good. It's also something related to everyone. So they're trying really hard.
It was the annual meeting of companies in China, at the end, the annual party and meeting, right? That topic.
Yeah.
It's Tom Ford's topic, and it's comic.
Yeah, but it's not like the traditional company we see, right? It's not like...
I haven't watched the movie.
Oh yeah, it's different. You should watch it. So it's more like a humorous way to talk about something that everyone is stressed about. I think the challenge they're facing now is really still that finding a good topic of the film. Yeah.
What about the way to promote a film? I saw you have an account on Little Red Book, like a Chinese type of Instagram. I don't know if that is correct, but has that been changed in recent years in terms of promoting a movie in China? Maybe you have to create some topics on the social media platform, and maybe, I guess, you have to get very short clips of some videos, like on the TikTok, right? Sometimes some people joking that they can watch movies through TikTok platform that with different clips, different shots of one movie.
It's actually changed a lot. I remember when I went back in 2015, it's very traditional way. We don't use TikTok or even Meituan. Like you say, now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
When you open the app, you will have something says the movie.
Meituan is a food delivery company in China.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, Meituan is actually related to Maoyan as well.
It's also a platform for selling the movie tickets.
Yes. Nowadays, they have Douyin is definitely a very important platform because a lot of topic and also the people who are actually going to the movie. So the first tier cities and the second tier cities, people who are in these two zones, the way they get information is different. But for because people use TikTok a lot. TikTok is the primary app they're using every day. So for the film distribution, TikTok is very important. Just as you said, that they will put a lot of clips of the film, not only of the film, but also the making of the film to attract the audience, to make them want to watch the film. But this is also dangerous.
So some people, after watching that, they will not go to the movie.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I think it's dangerous. But also the other one is you put all the interesting clips online already. And when people go to the movie theater, they're disappointed.
There's no more surprise.
Yeah, because just sometimes when you watch a trailer of the film, I was like, oh, it's very interesting. And then after you watch the film, you're like, oh, everything interesting is in that trailer. So it could be controversial sometimes, but TikTok is very important. And then on the other hand, there's also another way of distribution, which I really don't know if it's working, but everyone is still using it, that they will invite the crew, the director and the actors, and they went to different cities and to meet the audience. And there's a lot of that now, and they call it 观影团.
Yeah, I think some old actors joking that in their age, they never did something like this. Nowadays, they have to go to different cities, to different movies, to talk to the audience, right?
Yeah. Before, they actually have that kind of meetings with the audience to promote their films. But now it's even more. It's for some KOLs, they will have their own watching event. And they will use their platform to gather the audience and then meet the crew of the films. And everyone attend the event for free.
And the interaction of that seems sometimes I saw that on TikTok. I think it's also also another way to attract audience attention, right?
They will invite probably some famous people, and some other directors and some other actors and actors, and they will point their name, ask them to say something about the film.
I remember Ge You. I saw Ge You is in one of the audience.
There's a lot of people like that. It's kind of like a show, They just want to cut it and put it on TikTok, or someone famous say something good about this film. I don't know if that really works. Well, in my opinion, I don't think it works.
Okay.
But still, they're still doing it.
I see.
Yeah, not only in TikTok, but also in the Little Red Book as well. They will have some accounts, pay some social media and KOLs to do it.
So in your view, what characteristics should a good film have in order to be successful at the Chinese box office nowadays?
Not only for Chinese film, but also the other countries as well. The most important thing for film is that you need to communicate with the audience. The film has to convey not only emotions, but also talk to the audience, that the audience can relate themselves to the film. They feel they are respected and they feel they can learn something or the film is important to them. Like, that's why I think Xu film is controversial because I think a lot of people doesn't feel that. So for the good movie, like even, you know, like you mentioned Leon or Harry Potter, they're not something that down to earth. They're totally fantasy films, feature films, creative stories, but people can feel things through the film. I think that's the most important. I think that's the creativity and also the creation of film. People feel things through we watch it. And if we relate it to it, we will like it.
So about the Golden Rooster and the 100 Flowers Film Festival this year, is there any other thing that you want to share with us about your project or your thoughts before we move to the recommendation session, or even about your projects you're planning in the future?
Yeah, my plan is just I just want to keep doing my independent films, actually to produce it, because freedom for me is very important. And I want to do something I like, even though we're making films in a very low budget, everyone is really happy.
How do you define low budget in China?
Well, different people will have different way. Maybe for the production companies, for them, it's like under 10 million. It's low budget.
10 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for me, I have been making films for like under 200,000.
200,000 yuan.
So I make film in a very low budget way. And that's because I know there's a similar group in Argentina. They called Pampero. They're a group of college professors who are majoring in films. They make film very low budget way with everyone like only probably like 10 person, and everyone changed their different roles in different films. They act or they direct or they do the cinematography and everything. They are really famous worldwide right now. They went to all the big film festivals like Cannes, Venice, or Rotterdam, Berlin, everywhere. Their film is really cheap and their film is good. So I tend to have this theory that the quality of the film doesn't relate it to how much money it costs. I think the content is more important than the money, and how you spend the money is also another interesting thing, that how you can spend one penny into like 10 different things instead of like 1,000 monies in one thing. So they're like my role model. I trying to create something interesting in low budget because I really don't think we need to put that much money in this thing. Yeah.
You mentioned about like low budget, maybe just 200,000 yuan. That is actually about like 30,000 US dollars. How can you lower the budget to such type of level? I mean, you don't write stories yourself, right? How do you get the story? How do you get all these, the directors, the actors? How does that operate?
I don't know. It just happened. Like
maybe you collect some stories from some universities.
No, like usually the director, they will write their own stories and they will come to me with their stories, and then they said they want to make this film. Then we going through it and see if it's possible, and then I will give them some. I usually don't give advice in terms of the creativity, but I will give them advice in terms of the production side, like how we can save money, or if there's a way we can save money, and we will talk about that, practical things. We sort of have like a little group, like everyone. I would just call like, oh, we were gonna make a film. Like, are you guys having time? Because majority of my friends are like me. They don't work in a company. They freelance. So they probably, when they done doing films, they're probably doing advertisement or they have some other business. When it comes to film, we know that when we're making film, it's not that we're here to earn money and we're here to have fun. Basically, we have there always to support ourselves, and film is just something we do for fun.
But you are the one who talk to the investors, right? Or you have to sell the idea of producing that movie to the investors. I see. Let's move to our recommendation session. We invite every guest on our podcast to recommend something to our listeners. It can be a book, a movie, a TV series, a podcast, or even a video game. Feel free to recommend anything to our listeners, but I would like to ask you to at least recommend a Chinese film to our audiences.
So I will recommend one movie I recently watched. It's not in theater yet, but it will be in theater, I think, in December 22nd. It's also the opening film of this year's Golden Rooster. It's called 好东西. Her story directed by Shao Yihui. Her premiere's work is called 爱情神话.
Oh, that's a good movie. I like that movie.
The new one is even better.
Do you think the 爱情神话 is a low-bar movie? I mean, they are very famous actor and actress, but you think the cost is not that high, right?
I think for the production company, it's not a high budget at all. It's to them, it's a low budget film, and they made a big success. That's why they decided to do the second one.
What's 好东西 meaning about? It's also about like people's life in cities, or
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's happening in Shanghai as well.
Okay.
And
I think the casting group is
it's the cast is 钟楚曦、宋佳、张宇、赵又廷. If you watch 爱情神话, you will know it's like a city love story. But this time, she kind of created the 3 different generations of women, like elementary students and a young girl and also a single mom. 3 of them, they have their own confusion about their life and they have their own problem they need to solve. Instead of like surrounding a man, this time, like, she just totally take out the man. Like, a man is like a tool. So it's pretty feminist, but also in a very humorous way. So I think that's how, but I don't know how like the 3rd or 4th city people celebrated to it, but I'm pretty sure in Beijing, Shanghai, everyone's gonna love it.
Do you think it can be a success even without a strong popularity from the 3rd and 4th tier cities in China, because the Chinese market is big enough that if you can ensure you can get success in 1st tier city and 2nd tier cities can be a success if you operate well?
Yeah, but I think if you operate well, like you control the budget and then you calculate the math, it's possible. But in general, like the big box office area is the 3rd and 4th. Yeah, because people there, they have the habit to go to the movie theater even more than like Beijing or Shanghai, because everyone's really busy in Beijing and Shanghai. If they decide to go to a film, they need to calculate their time and need to plan it very well. And it's also a big city. Traveling is also the cost. But some like smaller towns and cities, it's normal for people to, well, I don't know what to do. I just go to the movie theater. Their life path is also slower, so it's workable for them.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you very much, Annie. Thank you for coming to my show. I think we have a very fantastic talk. So thank you very much. I hope you have a successful, you already have some success in the film sectors, but I hope you accomplish your goal this time in the Golden Rooster and the Hungary Film Festival. And I will definitely check the 好东西 in December. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Inside the China Room podcast. For cooperation, investing, or feedback, you can email me directly at jjiang.sisu@hotmail.com. Alternatively, please consider leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or Substack. If you find our podcast helpful, we would be delighted if you recommend it to others. See you next time and take care.